Hiya, and welcome back to Roads Yet Traveled, the game that teaches us that this is so jank. This is so jank right now. Like, you can't see it, but this is so jank. I am running this on a different computer that doesn't have HDMI support, so I'm using a dongle to connect it to HDMI into a capture card into my main computer. This is so jank. Anyways, let's just hop right in. We gotta go to day select and then, new. Who are you? Default name. Who is our roommate? We're gonna do Rune first. Who did you text? Maruk. This isn't right. I know it isn't. But I can't tear myself away. There's a certain comfort to hearing the bustle of the halls. A feeling of the spring breeze from the open window. I still hear voices, though, coming from outside. They're unintelligible, a mockery of a crowd. Not a single word out of 1,000 sounds even remotely human. They quiet as I approach the door, as if hiding, readying themselves to strike. When I head out, they vanish. Hissing, like a gas leak. They only want to be heard from afar. I think I know where to go. Heading down the hall, the voices urge me on. They sound even less like a crowd now. More like a chorus. Oh my god, should I? Should I? This is old stream format. Let me go ahead and pop out chat. Actually, no. Close pop out. I'm not going to do that. It's time to skedaddle. Yes, it's always time to skedaddle. They sound even less like a crowd now, more like a chorus. It's thrumming and beating and mechanical and melodic and wrong. A broken aria sung in a million tongues. It's not worth turning around. Nothing will be there. The hall turns from hardwood to metal and the windows to portholes. It's almost cruel that this feels more natural. I think I know where I am. Taking a sharp turn, the wall crumbles in on itself and... Yup. Hello again, you benign architectural fault. Have you come to take even more from me? Whisk me off to an even worse life? This is pointless. I know you're there. Skulk about all you want, it changes nothing. The voices persist, swelling until... We're gonna stop it for the ad. Want a break from the ads? I should probably move this laptop. I'm sorry. You know what? Should I bring back the original model purely from how jank this is? I'm gonna have to set up OBS because I'm not using Streamlabs ever again. And we're gonna be streaming from the Mac from now on. This should not be working as well as it is. This should not be working as well as it is. And yet it is. God. I'm really losing it. I wonder how long it's been. I've kept my eyes closed for so long I can barely see what's in front of me anymore. My hands, my feet, another wall. The lights flickered on at some point. I think I even heard someone call to me, but I can't tell. I couldn't even bring myself to care if they had. It could have been a dream. It would be so much easier if it was. I doubt that anyone would just sit and wait for me to get up. I'm still not ready to get up myself. An unknown time passes, I relentlessly writhe in this cold room. This thin bed, a sorry excuse of a home. A hunger pangs come and go, but breakfast has already passed. An exposed leg falls off the side of the bed and biting fear follows. I retract inwards, deeper. I wonder how long it's been. It feels like a lifetime could pass in weeks in all rain. I can't count every minute, every second, but I have to know. I have to know what I've lost, what I'm still losing. It's been 6 months at least. I wonder if I'd have dropped out by now. If anything, I'm probably going to have to rewrite that essay next semester. I just hope they pick the same book. Maybe not, it was pretty bad after all. It would be summer now. Well, unless more time has slipped away already, which I don't doubt. It might be nice to go back in winter, even if I've had enough of the cold here as it is. I should probably get up at some point. Alright, let me adjust my setup. Let me adjust this. Ah, shit. Stuff's plugged in. Let me unplug the Mac. Terrible idea. There we go. Move that cable there. And run the Mac charger over here. Hiya, welcome back. I should probably get up at some point. I should get back to my fake job. Oh, shit. Maybe tomorrow if that ever comes. Well, I should at least eat at some point. I checked the time, but, well, I think my monitor might need some repairs. I'll just go back to sleep and check again in a few marks. Or a few marks after that. Oh, hiya. Redeems don't work right now. Sorry, Axel, redeems don't work right now. I'm so sorry. Redeems don't work. I wonder how long it's been. Fuck me, I feel like shit. I need to get up. It's still dark. I wonder if they're at work or not. I sit up carefully, making sure to make as little sound as possible. It seems empty until I notice a mound on the other bed. Are they asleep? Unmoving, I look for any signs of movement. And then I see it. An all too familiar faint glow on the wall. Yes. Kind of. He must be asleep. Has it been a whole day already? More? What mark is it? It must be late if they're home and not out working themselves to death. What am I going to do, though? I could get them up, but I don't think I really want to talk right now. I don't really know what I'd say. I can't really leave either. Where would I go? Rolling back onto bed, I stare listlessly at the ceiling, unsure of what to do, or anything really. Oh, hiya. Don't worry too much about that. If you want details, ask cats. I don't even remember what I said to them. I was in such a panic. I mean, I broke my fucking phone. I really didn't think that through. It's probably useless now. Well, whatever was happening probably messed it up more than I did. I think I just cracked the screen more than anything. What was that anyways? It was static, but why? I've never seen a phone have static on it, and why does it feel so... I guess I should get cleaned up a bit, even if I'm not going to really go anywhere. I'll probably just pace up and down the executive hallway. Maybe walk around the labs, I don't know. Quietly turning the sink on, I splash some water on my face and accidentally lock eyes with the thing in the mirror. Is it still me? It looks like me. It moves like I would. Can I still be me after everything? Managing to pull away from the thing staring back, I sneak out and make my way into the hallway. Just as I thought, it's desolate at this mark. Making my way to the security door, I peek through. Pressing my face against the glass. I look both ways but don't see anyone. Well, if I get bored of pacing back and forth, I could always try my luck getting lost. It could be fun. I'm sure whoever I bump into would have a really good story for the rest of their lives. Or at least a great selfie. Heading down the hallway, I sit on one of the benches and knead my hands together again. I think I cut myself last night. It's healed already. I think I need to apologize. Fuck! What am I doing? What do I have to apologize for? I'm the one trapped here. What is even going on? And why does... I need to move forward. I need to move on. Actually, it's rather long past due that I move on. Somehow. Whatever happened last night was just a cruel reminder. It was fucked up and... Well, I'm not sure I want to claim it's supernatural just yet. I already have to believe in aliens. I don't think I'm ready to have to acknowledge ghosts exist just yet. But whatever it was, it's over. I can't let things out of my control run my life anymore. No matter how hard they keep trying. I think I handled that panic attack pretty well. Wow, 30 marks of sleep really do a guy wonders, huh? That aside, though, I should really apologize to Rune. They didn't deserve that. I'll figure it out in the morning. What to do till then, though? Taking a walk sounds pretty tempting. I mean, the captain didn't give me this key for nothing. I'm pretty sure I know how to get to Doc's lab, at least without getting lost. I'll try to remember all the turns I take. It shouldn't be that hard. Getting up, I head over to the security door. Damn, it really is early. Maybe I should have just stayed in bed. Why'd I even get up in the first place? I was thinking about my phone. And then I got up to go to the bathroom. Wait, did I get up? I thought I just... Okay, I've made it to the library. That's like halfway there. I'm pretty sure I took a right and then 2 lefts and then I went straight up that fork. Or something like that. And for as many times as I've done this already with Doc, I figured I'd have memorized it by now. Anyways, Wait, am I forgetting something? Coming to a halt in the hallway, I stare aimlessly at the floor. Trying to think if I've forgotten something. It's an exercise in futility as a faint drone of the lights erase any wavering thought. Maybe it will come to me later. It's so damn quiet here, and I still haven't seen any other carrion either. I heard a few talking, but I decided against checking in on them. These hallways still freak me out, but I'm sure I can brag about this to Rune when he wakes up. I'm sure he'll only be slightly surprised. It's fine. It's fine. Even if I get lost here, someone will find me. I'm not too worried about that. I just have to keep going. This seems about right. I'm definitely getting close now. I'd still love to know what time it is, though. I doubt I'm going to bump into the morning rush, but I really should be careful I don't stay out for too long. I'd hate for Rune to wake up and find that I'm not there. Although after last night, maybe that'd be expected. It's alright, I'll figure it out in the morning. Damn it! I really shouldn't have done that to my phone. If the monitor is all fucked up, how am I supposed to text anyone? That was so useful to have on hand, and now what? I have to wait for another one? Right after Tiar set it up for me, too. Milo's going to have a fit if he tries to contact me. I'm such a fucking hypocrite, too. Right after I got upset about them taking it from me, I go and break the damn thing. So much for caring about what little I own here. Ugh! This walk was supposed to help me de-stress, not make it worse. Maybe it's these hallways. They're quiet, but they aren't very relaxing. Maybe that arboreal thing Doc talked about would be nicer if it's ever not so crowded. I could just sneak up there sometime if I ever figure out how to read the signs. Speaking of, though, I think I've almost arrived. Turning the final corner, I see the door at the end of the hall and march towards it. A bit of a spring in my step as I triumph in my little victory. I can only hope getting back will be as easy. Coming to the door, it doesn't immediately open as I've come to expect it to. Maybe it's locked for the night. A bit surprised, I hit the button clearly labeled down and wait for it to arrive. I guess I could try and use my key, but why would I need to use that? The elevator doors open and I step inside. A wave of sudden nausea rolls over me. Wait. Only as the doors begin to close does it dawn on me. I didn't walk to Doc's lab at all, did I? The fear only has a second to sit in, as the lights go out and so do... That was a good walk, but it's probably best I head back now. I wonder how long it's been. Probably no more than half a mark, but I can already feel myself getting tired again. I doubt I really need to sleep more. Maybe it's just the lights. Or my mood is tanking again. For as much shit as I give my fake job, having something to take my mind off of things really helps. It lets me hang out with other caring, which in itself is probably a good thing too. I was so lonely in that damn cell without anyone. I do really enjoy hanging out with Rune. But I don't have a great grasp on caring society as is, and I can't do that without meeting more people. I have such an insular view of things right now, it would really help to expand that knowledge. But maybe I should worry about getting my monitor repaired first. Again. I really hope Tiar doesn't get upset about that. I know he has a lot going on as is. Not that I can understand any of it, but that doesn't mean he isn't busy. I mean, working on some device I can do whatever it does. It must take a lot of his time. He seemed pretty adamant it was important during our meeting with the captain. Even if she was a bit dismissive about it. And Maron's not even sure he knows what the damn thing is at all. Artificial gravity and an energy source all bundled into one, huh? I wouldn't complain. Well, except for the part where it might have pulled me halfway across the galaxy. That part was a little uncool. I'll just flip the switch that says reverse and fix everything. Maybe I should hold out some hope, but even I know that it won't be that easy. I'm sure once everything is settled down and Tiar has some real-timed work, he'll figure out what's going on. Wait, do we have a mod here? Yeah, do we have a mod here? Yeah, we do. Raj. Yeah, we do. How'd your exams go, by the way? You'll figure out what's going on. Still, how long has he been working on that thing, on this thing, and it's only doing this now? Oh, hiya. Oh, don't worry. How long has he been working on this thing and it's only doing this now? I think he called it his life's work. Well, maybe he meant that figuratively and he's just really excited about it. Aw, man. I'm fucked. Wiping a small tear from my eye, I shake my head and carry on. The halls are a bit dirtier than I remember them, and the lights seem to be cutting out in places. Rune really needs to get on this if he wants to avoid being yelled at. Still, I think I'm headed the right way. It shouldn't be much longer till I get back. I wonder if I should even go to work today. I could just stay in our room, but I really don't want to cause any more trouble for Rune. And it would be kind of awkward to just sit around all day. I'll figure it out when I get back. I think I still have a few marks before their shift even begins. Well, this seems right. I think I'm only a few hallways away now. I have to keep descending down various ladders and bygone stairways, but I can tell I'm getting close when the cold starts to build up around my ankles. Something's getting very close. Damn, yeah, no matter what time it is, it's still early. My sleep has been so weird, too. I wonder if it's those dreams that I've been having. I can barely remember them, but I feel like I had one just last night. Or this morning. Whatever. It's lost on me now. But it's fine. If anything, I'll just tell Maron about it. I'm guessing he'll say it's just a stress response, and he's probably right, but still. Ugh, shit, I don't remember it being this cold down here either. Trudging forwards, I begin to shiver slightly as the frigid tunnels that aren't hallways devour me. I'm so close to the room, I can't stop now. I know where it is, I have to get back there. They're waiting for me. Something is wrong. I'm not where I should be. Fuck! A searing pain, blinding light, and a haze of static cuts through my mind. Blistering colorless specks, burning sounds of creation, and finally, a withered silence. Grasping for anything, I catch myself on a support pillar and retch up nothing. I feel like my insides are wrong. I need to get out. Ah! I smash the wall. My hand pathetically fracturing against the cold metal. It bites like ice, but my limbs are numb. I stand back, bleary-eyed and afraid. And for the first time tonight, I see where I am. Somehow, everything comes back to me. I remember getting up to leave, walking to the elevator, and coming down here. But why? I didn't want to do that. The pain fades, the memories settle, and through it all, I'm alone in a dark tunnel. Hello? Something's wrong. Something is very, very wrong. As much as I suddenly remember coming here, I can't remember the path I took. Okay. Signs. Rune showed me the signs. My breath fogs what little vision I have as the cold grips my limbs. That headache came and went, but my hand is still sore from hitting the wall. I don't know what's happening, but right now, I have to get out of here. The dim lights flicker on and off as I pass. The falling motion sensors only allowing the most limited of vision as I trudge forwards. Sleepwalking. Was I sleepwalking? It must have been something like that. But I think I was awake for it all. I just don't remember, well, doing any of it. I must have, but at the time, was it just not thinking? What else have I done and forgotten? Has there been anything else? Fuck, it's getting hard to think. Why here? Why did I come here? Was it that dream? I slip, slamming into the ground with enough force to rattle my vision. I feel so weak. I can't remember. No, I don't want to remember. Pushing myself to my knees, I concentrate as hard as I can on what happened in my dream. I was in school, and I sway to the side, catching myself on another pillar. I was in class. No, I left class. I left home. I made it into the hallway. That was a tunnel. That was a hallway. And I found the corner. I shoot up. Some of the malaise seems to have washed off. Was it all in my head? Ugh. But why that corner? There was nothing there. There never was. That's why I picked it. To be alone. Oh, hi, yeah, that's why I picked it. To be alone. Okay. Was there anything else? There was! I swerve around as I think I hear the faintest of sounds, not but a few hundred feet behind me. The lights have a certain flicker when they turn on and off, but I can't see anything. There were the voices. Right, I heard something I couldn't understand. They were abstract and vague. They spoke in riddles and languages long dead, and just for me. I was alone there, wasn't I? No, that's not right. There's someone else in my dreams. Something else. Something that reminds me it's not real and a grim totem to what I left behind. A wake-up call. It's you! Ah, fuck. Hi there! How are you? Oh, fuck.
Self-voicing enabled. Self-voicing disabled.
It's so bad now. Through the lethargy and the pain, it takes me a moment to rationalize what I'm seeing. Yes, standing there in the dim light is the visage of the creature that seems to follow me. And yet, this is no longer a dream. Oh, fuck. I fall back as I try to scramble away. Why is this here now? What is it? All questions asked too late. I manage to get up and head away as fast as I can. The creature snapping in and out of existence behind me. This can't be a dream. It can't be here. Slamming into another pillar, I feel my arm ache and my body groan. There was always a boundary, some defining line. But this, why is this here? I can feel my head starting to pound again. The sound of scraping metal behind me thrums and claws in my ears. I don't care if it's real or not, I don't want to fucking find out. Tunnel after tunnel, wire after wire, I dig myself deeper into the station like a tick into a wild beast. clawing my way through, tearing flesh and vein just to escape. And yet, no matter how far I seem to run, I hear it. Always behind me. Always those same unintelligible words. It's thrumming. It's static. It's speaking. It's not... It's coming. It's broken. It's working. It's not. Catching my breath, I retch up something foul and force myself forwards. The lights crackle with the approach of the beast. Yelling won't help. No one's here. I just have to keep going and going until it ceases to care. Ceases to be. I must be getting close now to something. Anything. I see it. Another ladder. It descends even further into the dark. I could care less. I take it. The same again. More tunnels. A labyrinth so cruel that Minos himself would cry. The lights flicker above. I don't have time. Picking a direction, I run, sneakers pounding on the frosted floor. Shit! The ringing starts, and then only does my vision come back. My mouth tastes like iron, but that's not what worries me. I can barely move, and I hear it getting closer, and closer, and... As soon as the light flickers on, it appears. Gently standing in front of me, looking down. Sullen eyes, eyeless sockets, fresh, fleshless fur, and empty desires. In this single moment, bleeding and cold on the floor. I've never hated football more. What do you want? I can barely bleed out a thin excuse for a question as I force myself up. Propped against the wall, I can make it to my knees, but no more. It does not respond. In fact, it does not move at all. Standing only a yard away, I feel it measuring me up. This is it. The moment before I die. But it never comes. Is it blind? Yeah, so, Raj, this is on a completely different program. So, let me go ahead and toss in the sensor file. Yeah, I'm on OBS right now. You'd think... Yeah, no, it's because, this is, jank. But here's the thing, I am tossing in the sensor. The game hates it when Tucker is happy. It does, it really does. We hate to see it. Okay, there we go, we got sensor. There we go. Is it blind? Was it all the running that got me caught? Swallowing down a bitter taste, I try and inch myself away. It only allows for its head to whip up at a blistering speed. If it were alive, I'd be worried for it. Oh! Oh, well, in that case, let me just... No, not in sin. Well, in that case, let me just disable the entire fucking screen. If it were alive, I'd be worried for it. But I cast no fear over something so fetid and empty. Twitching, its head levels towards mine in some cruel acknowledgement. A sickening squelch as something moves under its false skin. Oh, shit! Moves is too kind of a word, it writhes. Oh! Ew! Something is racking the beast with pain until... Oh! Oh! Okay then. By the fucking eye! It is empty no longer as horrid sounds and terrible smell emanate from the limp corpse. Not meat. No, it's too old. Unwanted. Yeah, I will. Ah, fuck. Okay, so, by the fucking eye. It is empty no longer as horrid sounds and a terrible smell emanate from the limp corpse. Not meat, no, it's too old, unwanted. Carrion. The thing in front of me is a carrion of the mind. A thought discarded and forgotten, left to rot. Made manifest only in the space between my eyes and the rest of the universe. You're not real! It's a pathetic excuse. Something a child would scream at the monsters under the bed. It is real, and it knows it. My head is heavy. No, not this. Remember now, this happened before. It's raining. No, shut up. I don't want to hear... Through the veil, I watch stars fall. Ah! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop! And yet, among them, a jewel. Convulsing, I cough up more wet nothingness as I feel my very thoughts burn to ash. They were of no use to us anyway. I catch it and throw it back. No matter how many times it falls through, it's never enough. I don't know how I'm still standing. I know it, that pain of failure. I don't think I will be for much longer. I feel my senses cut out as wings beat overhead. How insular they must be. Carrion creatures feasting upon dead thoughts. Rotting ideals. The void, ignorant to their intrusion, cares neither way. Only fearing the dawn that never comes. A dawn that must not come. It is beckoning. That piercing nothingness burning into the back of my skull. Reach out. Wet fur slows against my sickly skin as I awake, only to find myself clutched by that monster in front of me. My hand in its only remaining paw, unable to move away. I feel under the wretch coming on as the cables writhe and organs leak onto dampened faux fur. I try to meet its eyes, but it's cast those aside. What do you want? I try to pull away, but its decrepit grip is like stone. Then why? Why doesn't it just die? Please, let me go! Then I hear it. A sound coming from the monster. Sickening and rhythmic. Like the dying of an old clock. No, it is not dying. It is just beginning. A heartbeat. Is something so profoundly beautiful and alive has never sounded more dead. It spasms with undulant glee as pulses of life rack through it. Painful as all creation is. Harder and harder, I try to pull away, only for its grip to tighten. I to the eyeless mound. I hear those words one more time. Those dead rhythms and forgotten secrets. They still fall on deaf ears. By the eye. What? Did you say something? What is this? What do you want? Tucker! What? In a single blink, it's gone. Taking only a moment to recover, I snatch my arm back from the air and hold my wrist. It's dry, minus some sickly sweat. What was that? What was the point of all that? And who? Tucker? Is that you? Oh, shit. Hi, Tiar. Yeah, I go through game files. Whipping my head around, I fear I scare the old Karen. The professor stands but a few yards away from me. Tiar Seno, he's so cute. Alright, I'm going to unplug the Mac. And move its charger somewhere so that way I don't experience whatever. Just pure pain. I'm gonna try to work this to where I'm comfortable. To where I can comfortably do this. But that is so fucking difficult. This is so difficult. Whipping my head around, I fear I scare the old Karen. The professor stands but a few yards away from me. There's an unbroken moment of silence between us as I try to determine if he's real or not. I'm not sure if I'd even be able to tell anyone. Hang on, I gotta check something real quick. Let me get this. God, this is so jank. Hang on. Let me check. Yeah, we're still good on battery. Unabated, he walks forward, a worried expression plastered on his tired gray muzzle. What in the void are you doing down here? Are you down here with Director Tiran? Why are you here so early and... By the eye, you're bleeding! Stupidly looking at my hands, I see no blood, but bringing my fingers to my lips reveals a different story. Reaching into my mouth, I find the culprit and... Solve the problem. An incisor. I guess I hit my head harder than I thought. As the haze wears off and the pain comes flooding back, I hunch over and vomit up what's left of me. Damn. I think ghosts are real. Tiar stands off to the side, looking terrified as I finish and wipe off my mouth. By the void, you look awful. Come here. Limping over, I stand slumped in front of him. Hang on, there we go. He reaches up and gently puts a paw to my forehead. His muzzle twists in confusion, though, as he announces, You don't seem to have a fever. At least, not one that I can tell. Here, give me your wrist. He reaches out to take my hand, but after what I just went through, I draw back in terror. I'm sorry. I just wanted to check your pulse. Dr. Seno said that the best place to check was your wrist. Would you prefer I check your neck? I prefer if you didn't check at all. Fuck. Fuck me. I fucking hate it here. Sighing, I lean in, exposing my neck. At this point, I only hope he doesn't tear it out. His weathered pads are cold, but the sweat I'm drenched in is colder, and rapidly getting worse the longer I stay down here. Well, I can't tell what's wrong with you here. Would you like to come to my office and wait while I contact someone to come and get you? It's not far from here. I nod as he takes one last worried look at me before gesturing behind him and walking off. Before he gets too far ahead, I take one last look down the tunnel. It's dark, and the lights flicker on and off as though nothing ever happened. There are no slowed-off mascot parts, no discarded flesh, and no puddles of bile. Except the ones that I made. Whatever it was, though, it was real. I'm unfortunately sure of that. Fuck, my jaw hurts so much. Pocketing my tooth, I hurry to catch up with the professor. I wouldn't have expected Tiar to walk so fast due to his age, but I'm glad he's not slowing down in these frigid hallways. He hasn't bothered with any other questions, however, until something seems to cross his mind. Tucker, not that I'm upset, but how did you get down here anyway? These tunnels are not trivial to navigate, and we're behind at least 3 security gates at this point. Sighing, I reach into my jacket and pull out my not an ID card. Is that a terminal key? I didn't think they just gave those out. I mean, they kinda did. Right. Well, that would explain a few things. I have one myself, but I wasn't actually sure how many there were in circulation. Fascinating. He returns to silence as we walk unabated through the tunnels. I have to stop a few times as I'm feeling very weary, but eventually we come to a frankly monolithic blast door. Tiar walks over to the side and starts putting in his clearance as I manage to slump against the wall. I definitely think I'm going to skip going to work today. I feel bad leaving Rune alone, but I think he'll understand. After a satisfying beep, the clamps on the door start to slowly release and the massive slab begins to open. Tiar doesn't seem all too much in a hurry. A cool blue projection emits from his small bracelet before he looks back at me. Do you think you can make it a bit further? Leering at him through bloodshot eyes, I shakily nod and follow. The door locks behind us. Plodding the rest of the way, I can see a visible difference in the state of the hallways here. They seem cleaner. Nice even. Maybe they had to replace part of it at some point, but it's about all I can focus on as I just try not to faint where I'm standing. My mouth is killing me. You hear me? Uh-huh. I'm glad you're still alive in there. Can I do anything for you? You seem... I'm just worried. He's being kind, but this kindness is almost grating as he knows I have no way to respond. I sigh and shake my head no. Alright, of course. We can get you some water when we get to my office, and you can rest up for now. Yeah, it's only the 6th mark. You must be exhausted. Do you think your bleeding will subside? We could see if any of my colleagues are here yet. I believe they have a few medical degrees between them. Although the only trained professional that would have any chance of understanding you right now is still asleep. Unless he'd pick up his damned monitor. Hang on, I will be right back. And I'm back. Hang on, let me rework this so that way I can see better. There we go, that's better. He frantically starts messaging who I can only assume is Maron before turning back to me. Well, since you're here, I should tell you where you seem to have found yourself. These are the sub-levels. You may have been able to guess at, but just for clarity's sake, it bears explanation. This is where the main engines are, the backup generators, and... well, I suppose you of all people deserve to know about it, but this is where the Maron is contained. Through all of the haze, hearing that does raise a brow. I never really thought I'd get to come here, mainly accounting for the fact that my guardians seem to be allergic to this place. Much to my surprise, though, Tiar continues. I'm afraid you're in no condition for a tour anytime soon, but I'm not sure there'd be much to show. The staging room is impressive, but it's still being cleaned and checked for radiation after that last test fire. Well, you know the one. Oh, the single act that plunged my life into a cosmic tragedy that has left me seeing ghosts? How could I forget? Is what I would say, if I wasn't choking on my own blood and being guided around by someone who has no hope of understanding me. Tucker? You should know that I am truly sorry for what has happened. Once it was brought to my attention that this may have all been in part due to my work, well, I'm not sure I'll ever be able to make this up to you, but I'm trying. He seems genuinely distraught. Through the malice leaking itself out of my body, I almost feel bad for him, but it's hard to feel anything right now except pain. I'll explain more when we get to my office. We just have to head through the commons and we should be there. We walk through a small general hall and come to a closed door. Oh god, oh god. Army. You should not have said that. You should not have said that. You should not have said that. My brain immediately activated fanfiction mode. You should not have said that. I don't see any other carrying around. I'm not even sure how many people work down here. Tiar steps inside, beckoning me to follow. For someone who probably has the most tenure out of anyone in the station, barring maybe the captain, this office kinda sucks. I mean, it's smaller than Rune's, and he's basically working out of a glorified broom closet. It's not Tucker X Seno. Hang on, let me make note of it. Let me make note of this idea. Let me make note of this idea. Let me make note of it. Not notepad, not Word. It's, text edit. Text edit. Ah, shit. Yeah, new document. Let me just, what was it? Oh, yeah, Rune X Seno. Okay, that's it. Although that might have been his own doing with how little he cleans. Seeing an open chair, I slump down and try to catch my breath. Do not put me in the jar. Do not put me in the jar. I already have an idea on what to do. I already have an idea on what I'm going to write. Don't judge me. I slump down and try to catch my breath. Tiar brings me a small disposable cup with some water and takes a seat behind his desk. The bleeding has slowed and I managed to get some of the water down, but the taste of blood makes me feel like I'm going to retch again. I swear it's nothing too bad. I say Rune X Seno, but Rune's not really involved. Why the fuck am I talking about this? The bleeding has slowed and I managed to get some of the water down, but the taste of blood makes me feel like I'm going to retch again. I crumple the cup and watch as Tiar cleans some room off of his desk. He notices me staring and speaks up. You might want to busy yourself while I get this set up. Perhaps you could message Dr. Tiran and see if they've woken up. I shake my head no. Oh, I'm sure they won't mind. It's their job after all. I raise my empty hands, barely managing to keep them from shaking. I don't even know where the damn thing is. Even then, I don't think I can talk to them right now. You don't have it on you? You should really be more A glare cuts him off. He knows he's overstepped. Right, my apologies. I'm in no place to judge you. Still, it's a fascinating piece of technology. I hope you keep it safe. And, oh, did you manage to get those other functions you wanted working? I had to jerry-rig some cords to get enough power into it without trying the thing. 2 more stray shots, and this time he didn't even mean it. My vision goes red, but I grip the chair and shrug it off. What he did for me was a blessing, even if it has caused me a bit of stress. I don't think the static was his fault either, whatever it was. Well, you'll have to give me a few more moments then. I'd been working on something for you in my free time, but I wasn't planning on finishing it up just yet. I don't think it will take long, though. Something for me? Intrigued, I watch as he reaches behind his desk and starts placing tools down, before revealing a monitor of some kind that he must have been working on. He starts unscrewing parts of it as I sit in silence. The delicate dance of articulated tools holds my attention for a bit, but I soon take a moment to get up and look around the room. Despite the size, it seems like he manages it quite well. Although I think his plant might have died. And, like, there aren't even any windows. I know most of the rooms here don't have any, but at least Rune has a view of the maintenance hub. The least they could do for Tiar would be a little porthole, right? Nah, he's too pragmatic. I bet he doesn't care. Walking to the back of the room adjacent to his desk, I see a few photos propped up in cheap-looking frames. I haven't seen a lot of photos since I've been here. Not a lot of art at all, actually. Taking a closer look, they seem to mostly be group photos of teams that Tiar must have worked on. I can't tell the order, but I can see at least a few common faces across the spread. Oh, hey, there's Maron! Man, he looks the same. I wonder when this photo was taken. Trying to find some pattern in the outfits proves fruitless, as there are very few photos without half the crew just wearing all gray uniforms. In fact, it seems like there's only one where no one is wearing that oh-so-charming Sockness gray. It's the largest one too, but with no discernible date, it's hard to tell anything about it. Maryland's not in it, so maybe it was at least 20, no 30 years ago? Unless he's just off to the side. Tiar does look happier in this photo, though. Finding myself being too nosy for my own good, I step back and retake my seat at his desk. Despite very clearly coming from the direction of the photos, he doesn't comment on them at all. A few more minutes pass in abject silence before Tiar announces, "Well, this is going to have to work for now. Are you still with me, Tucker?" I cautiously nod and he unlatches his bracelet and puts it inside his new creation, seemingly connecting them in the process. What the hell is he doing? Now, this should work. In theory. It's been some time since I've had to put anything like this together. Now, if you don't mind, could you say something, please? Hello? Oh! The box on his desk screams out in a horrid, scratchy voice, only vaguely imitating what I said. I recoil, and even Tiar seems surprised by its awful delivery. No, none of that. He turns some knobs on the top of the box before beckoning again. Raising my hands to my head, I ready myself to cover my ears before speaking out a faint, "Hello? Greetings." The box replies in an almost banal tone, its voice strangely human for something so haphazardly comprised. Tiar lets out a sigh of relief as he leans back in his chair. Woo, finally. Hello, Tucker. I feel that is more than in order. Again. I'm sorry that took so long to get sorted out. With such rigid tech as this is, it often takes some time. What the fuck? Is this how I always sound to the Karen? No, there's no way my conversations have been as fluent as they are if all they're hearing is a shitty compressed version of my thoughts. I think Tiar understands too as he reads my confusion and explains. I thought this might happen. So, unfortunately, without your monitor or a neural between us, this might be a bit stilted. Just one of the unfortunate constraints of this real-time translation protocol. You shouldn't have to worry about it, though. Most of the time, your Guardian's neurals are doing most of the heavy lifting. And messages sent from your monitor to another monitor should be fine. But with only one piece of the puzzle, it's going to have a hard time keeping up. I hope this should be sufficient. I'll do my best to interpret what you're saying, of course. If I make a mistake, please let me know. That sounds dumb. I guess it makes sense. Most of the time, someone's translated for me or I've communicated between two devices. I wonder why it needs that second part, though. Surely his monitor should be enough now that the AI has translated most of my language, right? I guess not. So, what are you doing down here? His expression hides a stern tone. He's asking a question I don't even know the answer to. I was taking a walk. He's less than impressed. A walk? Yeah. You seemed like you were in shock when I found you. It's understandable if you don't remember. Perhaps it'll come back to you. I certainly hope so. Well, are you alright otherwise? It was quite the shock to find you down here so early. I was worried. I still am, of course. I don't know. I'm sorry to hear that. I think it might be best if Dr. Seno looked over you as soon as possible, just to make sure. Yeah. In the meantime, please try to relax. But I think it might be time we finally had a conversation of our own. If you think it's too much, please let me know, and you can just rest if you'd want. Otherwise, I believe I owe you at least a few explanations. Explanations? Huh? I can't provide all of them, but if you've had a question on something, please, now might be the time to ask. Isn't this the guy who called me a subject the last time I saw him? I guess he had a change of heart, or the captain got him again. And what the hell am I supposed to ask about? The list is almost too long to know where to begin. I know he's trying to atone for what he did, but that doesn't mean he's about to spill his guts on the floor and tell me everything he knows about this place. Hang on. Although, asking couldn't hurt. This is way too much to think about this early in the morning. Well, I guess I could always ask about him. Isn't that the polite thing to do? Yeah, I'm past being polite, but still. I don't really know much about the guy besides the fact he's some genius professor or something. Maybe he'll slip up and tell me something about the project he's working on. The projects he said I could ask about. Man, I'm still way too on edge from earlier. Can you tell me more about yourself? I guess that works. You want to know about me? Well, I suppose that makes some sense. Although, have I not introduced myself enough? I'm the head researcher here aboard the ioria 2. While I do research particle physics, I feel it's safe to tell you that it's not my focus. Most of my time is spent working with the Maron, just trying to figure out what makes it tick. They really don't know what it is, huh? I wonder if he'd tell me more if I asked. Otherwise, I'm on the research board for Sockness, which is not as prestigious as it sounds. I'm still far from being able to freely work on my own projects, let alone ask for more funding. They run a tight ship, and I respect that. But sometimes I believe they ask too much, even now. I'm not entirely sure of what else could be of interest to you. But if you think of something else, do ask. I guess that's enough. He didn't tell me anything about his personal life, let alone Maron, but I shouldn't have expected that. He really didn't go in depth on anything, actually. I should press him for something while I have the chance. Alright, I'm exhausted, beaten up, and probably going to regret this, but I have to ask. Tiar, what's a Maron? Bro Tucker's about to ask more about him. Okay, but no. Trying to remember. Cryptid, if you're watching this, if you're here, or if you're watching this, question. I have a question for you. Why did you make Tiar cute? He looks so cute. Why? I stare at the box as it translates. That is decidedly not what I said. Maybe it was just a translation error. But then, why does Tiar look so confused as well? Almost more so than me. Yes, I thought you might ask about that. I'm surprised you waited so long to ask, actually. I figure those would be the first words out of your mouth. I'll tell you what I can. But first, please, what do you know of it? I let out a huff. I didn't come here to be tested, but fine. It's an engine of some sort, generating enough energy to run this whole place. It's dangerous and can't be used at full power. And it's broken and you don't know why. Tucker, what we have here is everything you said and more. It's not just some generator spewing out radiation and electromagnetic waves. It's the future for all caring kind. Oh boy, hearing rhetoric like that certainly raises a brow. It's the very core of all of our work here, but you know that already. In short, it's an extremely powerful energy source, yes. But as you've experienced, it can be so much more. Can you tell me where it's from? No. Fine, can you at least tell me more than some shitty spiel used to intrigue Soknos investors? The captain was right about you. Smart. Enough to cause a stir. I wish you wouldn't talk about me like that, like I'm not here. Sir? Oh, right. Of course. Well, I doubt it will shock you to know that our project began before we were even on the station. Our research with the Maron started all the way back on the Icoriod on Lio. Although it wasn't until I met. His eyes go blank as he cuts himself off. He looks like he wants to swallow back the words, but they've already left. For someone who said I could ask him about anything, he seems to be quite tight-lipped all of a sudden. Who did you meet? My expression betrays myself, as I can't wipe my dissatisfaction away. Not all Senos are professors, but they may all be liars. Ignoring me, he gets up and pours himself something into a glass. I crumble my paper cup further. It looks hard, probably bitter too. There's a sickly dark red color to it, unlike anything I've seen back home. I'm sure it would kill me. But for but a moment, I wish it'd kill him. He downs it, looking at me from over his shoulder. His expression settles, and he regains some composure. We both know it's fake. We both wear masks. I put on a harmless smile as he prepares to retch up the best lie he can think of. We smile at each other before he continues. Oh, my contact at Soknos. It wasn't until I met them that I was introduced to the Icoriod team. A lie within a lie? Or perhaps just another truth? I'll take it at face value, although I'm unsure of what I should believe now that I'm here. He did say he couldn't tell me everything. It would be nice if he just said it was private instead of trying to confuse me. Is that what you started working for them? Oh, no. Soknos wasn't founded until... have you been informed of what happened to the Icoriod? The one on Lio. Only in passing, but I feel like Tiar's explanation probably wouldn't be better than Merowyn's. I have. Right. Good. That's good. But, Soknos wasn't founded until after we lost the Icoriod. There are survivors making sure it would never happen again. The crisis forced a change, and Lio backed the next best thing with the joint development of the Icoriod, too. So that's the only reason any of this happened. Sure, I mean, it makes sense, but damn! The station itself wasn't even as old as this one before everything fell apart. It wasn't aboard at the time, if that wasn't obvious. How old was the station when it fell? Only some 20-odd cycles. Then there's a moment of silence. It's a cold remembrance of a tragedy I may not have even been alive for. It clearly means a lot to Tiar, more than he's willing to tell me. I didn't appreciate that many of those he worked with might not have survived. In fact, I'm willing to bet they didn't. Right. I'm sorry. Oh, you don't have to be. But thank you. Back to the Icoriod, though. It wasn't until we built a chassis for the Maron that we were able to get any work done. The researchers I worked with before. As a team, we superheaded most of what we have in terms of research on the Maron. So is this why you can't fix it? You lost too many people in the disaster? Correct. We're missing some of the seminal documentation that recorded our findings. Without that work, it has become harder to keep it functional. Except until recently, huh? What do you mean? Well, it brought me here. I'm guessing it's never done anything like that before, right? No, it hasn't. Although I doubt it was intended to do that. And you're sure? You're sure you know what it intends on doing? I can take the lies. I'm used to being spoken down to. But I'm tired of my situation being reduced to someone else's mistake. Someone somewhere made a choice, and now I'm paying for it. I'm sorry. Please continue. You know, let me just... Damn, my fucking back. My fucking back. Right, the chassis. I'm starting to see why the captain might act like she does sometimes. Although I don't intend on being as mean as her. Yet, while the chassis is important, it's not the only moving part in the story. The other part is where my research comes in, and I fear what may have been the cause of all this. What do you mean? While the Maron can output an amazing amount of power, without being told where to direct it, it ends up being, well, catastrophic. It's only due to my neural-based systems that we have any attempt at guiding it. Oh, I guess I would explain how he's still able to work on it at all, really. The captain did say he was an expert on it. The only one. Let me explain. Think of the Maron as a battery for a monitor, and then the chassis as its case. I provide the programming to let them communicate. And in this most recent experiment, we tried something new. Well, congratulations, Professor. I think whatever you did might have worked. You jest, but you may be correct. Whatever changes I made to the neurals seem to have allowed for something, but we're still unsure as to what. What do you mean by that? I'm here, isn't that enough? Enough? Tucker, we have no idea why you're here. I didn't want that. I didn't want any of this. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I never would have wanted to tear you away from your life, and I sure as void didn't tell the Maron to do that. I believe him, but it doesn't change my mood. So, what did you change then? That's the question, isn't it? There were multiple changes, most of which I thought were superfluous. Either way, we can't check the internal systems until the Maron is safe to interact with again. All the data we got back from our peripheral machines have turned out to be garbled nonsense, mostly repeating numbers and words. Which isn't the first time it's done that either. Well, how long until that happens? How long until I can stop doing whatever this is? Tucker, We're gonna stop it for the ad. Want a break from the ads? Ow, my back! Ow! All I'm going to say about Tiar is I'd date him. Yeah, I'd date him. I'm not sure there ever will be a time that you can stop. I'm sorry. Right, I should have expected as much. It's taken him almost 100 cycles just to get this far. Who knows how long it will take for him to fix any of it. But the Maron should be safe for personnel use in another few days. Right, when Sokono shows up? Correct. They knew about the test, just not the outcome. I can hide away, I guess. Although I doubt that's going to be easy when the whole crew knows I exist. I hadn't thought of that. If introductions need to be made, I'll be sure that you're well prepared. Thanks. Of course. But, was that a sufficient explanation? I'm sorry, it's not something that can be explained easily. He puts his elbows on the desk and rests his head, his muzzle just breaching the bridge of his fingers. I'd almost say he's trying to look intimidating if he weren't so short. Is that enough? I mean, it's a generator, I knew that already. Some fucked up and weird engine that no one knows how to fix and no one can predict. Even still, something's off. He can tell me its history, but not where it's from. They didn't create it, did they? No, he was specific. They built the chassis, he built the neural, so where's the battery from? Does he even know? I rub my eyes and stare blankly at the ceiling. I'm not going anywhere. That's the end of it, really. I can ask another day. Maybe one where I'm less battered and bruised. I know there's more to it, though. No, I think I understand. Just be careful with it, please. I know you've dedicated your life to this thing, but it's not worth losing more lives over. He lowers his brow, hiding more and more behind the mask. Let me, scoot back. I struck a chord, one I did not mean to. I merely meant my own life, but this thing has already taken its toll in flesh. No, I need to know more before I come to that conclusion. Of course. We'll be under close scrutiny from Soknos until we can get things sorted out here. I promise you, Tucker, I'll do everything I can. I know. I'll believe it when I see it. Words muttered under my breath still find the purchase as Tiar lets out a small sigh. A tenuous silence forms before an idea blooms. I do have one question, actually. Yes? How damaged is it? He looks nervous. Like, this is a question he's answered before, and the responses are already bad. It's irreparable, but it's been beyond repair for cycles. The damage hasn't seemed to change the functionality, though. And it's not like we can fix it without her research anyways. Her? That must have been an accident, but no, I think that was the first truth tonight. I wonder if, whoever she is, she's to blame for all of this. No, I can clearly just blame Tiar instead. Even the captain thinks that's right. Still, I don't think he noticed his mistake. He's just looking over his cobbled-together device. Well, how about this, huh? I think I should be able to get something a bit less, well, bulky, finished in a few days. I've been forbidden to work on the Maron until Soknos gets here anyway. Not that I even could. What are you talking about? The translator. It's not the best, I know. I think I'm going to have to find a better way to transport it. But for a prototype, I'd say it works fairly well. I'm inclined to disagree, but I just nod anyway. He happily turns some knobs on his device as I watch him through half-lidded eyes. This man in front of me, who is he? Is he a genius? Or a thief? The captain seems to think he's both, and I'm inclined to agree. Better the words from his mouth, though, I could at least ask. Seno? Can you tell me about yourself? More than just your superficial titles? I couldn't have said it better myself. Strange talking box. Maybe it is working as intended after all. Oh, you wanted to know more about me? Well, I suppose that's not all that surprising. But if you're interested, I can certainly oblige. I'm unsure if you know this, but the carrion in front of you is is 147 cycles old. Yes, I would. Old Man Yowie is real. Almost 148. So I might not be able to shorten down everything for you, but I think I can give you a summary of some kind. Ayo. Oh, shit. Let's see. Well, I was born on Lio. This was before the raising of the towers. Sky pillars, sorry. That doesn't explain it better at all. I know you may have the impression that all Senos are researchers, doctors, but truly my parents were farmers. We made enough to get by, sure, but things were calmer in the belt during that time. I'm not sure how much there is to say on my early life. Isn't Rune from there too? I'm sure it's a massive region, but it'd be funny if they were neighbors. Truly, nothing of note really happened until I got to work on the ioria. I believe I was already in my 60s at that time, already graying too. But oh my, what a station. Far nicer than this pale imitation. But she gets the job done. For a station that crashed and burned, they really speak of it as though it was some godsend. Maybe it was worth the sorrow in the end. I guess he did meet his team there. This was before Soknos, as you know, so I didn't have a name for myself at the time. None of us were prepared for the amount of work it would take just to keep projects running there. Crews were brought in and cut only days apart. Funding came and went like it was nothing. Some of the best humanitarian work I've ever seen was done in the blink of an eye on that station. And maybe that's why it couldn't last. But it worked out in the end. I managed to get a spot working on the... What was it called again? The Experimental Mass Coalescence Department? Something along those lines. We were really just a group of physicists who wanted a more interesting title. Either way, it was a bizarre team. No one really knew what we were doing, but we managed to get close and we managed to get enough funding to sustain ourselves for a few years. Eventually, we managed to get a government contract. Huge, in fact, but we couldn't understand why. Until, of course, it all made sense. Huh? The Maron. They brought us the Maron. I cock my head. Does he mean to tell me it was just gifted to him? Surely not, but then... Ugh, my head is spinning. Not only is my jaw throbbing, but I suddenly have 20 more questions for him. 20 more lies he could tell me. So, wait, I'm sorry. Who brought it to you? Oh, right. At the time, there was a team of lion researchers working on some preliminary research on the device. When they got wind that our expertise lined up, we merged teams and worked from there. Sure, okay, that sounds feasible. Wait, fuck. No. He said he wouldn't tell me where the Maron came from, but all of a sudden he's telling me he got it from some lion researchers? Just like that? No, that can't be right. He must be lying again. It's a half-truth at best. Let a small groan and rub my eyes. Fortunately, it seems that Tiar just thinks I'm tired as he offers me another cup of water. I decline and wave him along in his story. Well, after the ioria tragedy, our research was almost brought to a complete halt. We're lucky anything survived, really. When we heard that Soknos was looking for a new orbital station, however, we had to stake our claim. I took up the leadership role and rallied what was left of the original team. I suppose the rest is history, as we've been working almost non-stop since then. How long ago was this? About 40 cycles or so. The station itself was built fairly quickly, but she's already been in service for twice as long as the original. I've heard there were musings of another station being built, but I can't keep up with it all. He's been working on this same project for over 60 cycles, and 40 of which were probably in this office. I mean, he's dedicated, that's for sure. Wait a minute, if he's been here for that long, then where does Maron fit into all of this? Tiar, when did you meet Maron? Of course, Maron. My son. Even if he didn't say that in an biting tone, his phrasing alone feels like a call for alarm. Maron wasn't even born before I started working on the ioria too. He's fortunate enough to have missed most of the tragedies that have befallen the Carrain. Not to say that he's without his own hardships. I'm sure you're aware of his condition. I believe so, yes. His heart? Yes, he was born with it, or so I was told. I didn't meet the boy until he was already 6 or 7 cycles old. You should have seen him. He already came up to here. He raised his hand above his head. He almost sounds proud. Stark contrast to his introduction. He laughs himself out of a small stupor and listlessly looks off to the side. Is he looking at the photos from earlier? No, surely not. I saw those and he was barely in them. It was a chance encounter, really. I was back on Lio for a talk and he was just there. There's something about the orphanage giving a tour that day. I truly can't remember at this point, but oh, he was such a cute pup. The words sound like a whisper as they leave his weathered lips. He glances back at me and straightens himself up. After I heard about his condition, I knew I had to do something. He was lucky to have lived for so long without the replacement. And I was glad to assist in his recovery. He even had his own neural. It was custom made by his father. He swirls what's left of his drink in his glass. Something's missing, but this time I can't bring myself to pry further. Did you know he wanted to be an astronaut? He grew out of it, I suppose. I fear his love of medicine sprouted from that moment, and I suppose I can't blame him. He's done well for himself, and that's all I could ask for, really. He sounds like he's trying to convince himself more than anything. It's almost saddening. I knew Tiar wasn't particularly happy with Maron's life choices, but he almost seems like he's lost something crucial to his very being. He's a good man. This is usually the part where the dad says he sure is, longingly and lovingly. Hell, even my dad wouldn't. He's barely home half the time. But instead, Tiar just swirls his near-empty glass. He would have made a better astronaut. Tiar, I know, you did not just say that about Maron. I know, you did not just say that about Maron. The country is coming out. I am going to kick your ass, sir. I am going to kick your entire ass. I am going to beat you black and blue. You are going to be bruised, mister. I am going to shove my foot so far up your ass that it will be stuck. Now then, he would have made a better astronaut. I have to change the subject. This is hard, even for me. I can't imagine what's going through his mind right now. Well, that's it then. Yeah? You made your home here and have been working since? Well, it's not that simple, but yes, we have. Father of the Year award goes to this bastard right here. And it pisses me off because he's cute. He's an asshole, but he's cute. The duality. Well, it's not that simple, but yes, we have. As much as working under Soknos can feel like a burden, I'm glad to do it. Especially if it allows me to keep working with the Maron. Although, he cuts himself off again. I feel like he's practically begging me to intrude at this point. That Soknos crew's coming soon, yeah? Who are they? Hopefully no one. It's not uncommon for Soknos to interfere with our work, but they rarely send people all the way out here to do it in person. It's probably just to scare us into shape more than anything. They like to keep tabs on their projects. And, well, things have been a bit strange down here recently, as you can imagine. Do they know about me? I'd hope not. What? Did you expect them to? Barely anyone knows about you, Tucker. You know that. The whole station knows about me. So? Mouth agape, I simply stare in disbelief as Tiar gives me a confused look. You'd have to ask the captain about that. I'm not sure who she chose to share your existence with. Still, I doubt a random Soknos technician would have prior knowledge of your existence. Has word of me not spread from the station? I kind of figured I'd be a big deal by now. Wait, am I self-absorbed for thinking that? No, I'm an alien. Aliens are cool as fuck! I guess I'll have to ask the captain next time I see her. Well, okay. Do you know how long it is until they arrive? It shouldn't be much longer. I heard they successfully performed a slingshot around Morendi after refueling on Reich. Which is to say, they're close. I'd keep an eye out for someone in a gray uniform, but that's most of the people on the damn station already. It's fine with how big this place is. I'm pretty sure I can stay out of their way. I rub my eyes as the morning malaise slowly creeps back in. I wince as I rub my sore gums. What a morning, and it's still only, what, the 7th mark? Fuck me. Tiar seems to be feeling the same as he yawns and checks the time. Well, I'm a bit shocked that your guardians seem to be taking so long to answer their monitors. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. I'm not sure how much work I can get done today anyways. Thank you, Tiar. Of course. Despite the fact he's probably fed me bullshit for the past mark or so, his smile does afford me some rest as I lay back in my chair. I don't think Tiar would ever do anything to hurt me. Well, he at least feels somewhat responsible. I think he's trying to keep me safe in his own way. That explains some things. Well, I'm a bit more upset now, but at least that clears up a few things at least. The room returns to a taciturn state as we both bathe in the awful existence of the early morning hours. Tiar looks like he's ready for another shot, while I would kill for some ibuprofen. He checks his emails, we both breathe silently into the dull air. A silent minute goes by until he speaks up again. Tucker. I know it's still early, but I was wondering if I could ask you a few more questions while I had you here. Huh? Again with this? What do you mean? Well, as much as I appreciate the crew taking care of you, it has left scant little time for me to be able to check in on things. while the captain didn't specifically put me in charge of you, let's say mental well-being, I still believe it's important. I was just wondering how things have been going for you. And I know today might be an obvious outlier, but I was curious if you could perhaps share a bit more with me. Isn't he getting the reports the same as everyone else? Well, I guess the reports are only as good as Rune writes them up to be. Which probably leaves a lot to be desired. And I know he's been prone to ignoring carrying reports in the past. What did you have in mind? Well, I've read what I can about you, Tucker, but we haven't exactly had much time to converse together. Or, our last meeting wasn't exactly what I would call fortuitous either. It was for me. I can only serve you so well as I know what you want. And before you say it, I know you want to go home. I'm sorry, that is not something I can promise right now. It would just help me if I knew how to help you. Ugh, I feel like I've heard that spiel before back on Earth. The help never feels all of that helpful. I'm not too sure what I can ask for. I'm eating well. Enough. My room is fine. I enjoy living with Rune, and the captain helped me get this uniform, so I'm not dirty all the time anymore. No, I suppose it was a bit of a nebulous question. I apologize. I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying your life, your living quarters, however. I was a bit worried when Maron suggested it to me, but I'm glad it turned out all right. Were you worried for me, or of me? That thought wasn't meant to slip out like that. A bit of both, I must say. The thought of an alien living with a Karen in close quarters was worrying, to say the least. Woo, thank goodness he thought it was a joke. No, I'm glad that you've been able to get out and start learning about the station. Oh yeah, Army, the redeems aren't working. Sorry. Hopefully we'll be back in Streamlabs tomorrow, where everything works. You know, with the whole Star and Sam. Yeah, hopefully we'll be back in Streamlabs tomorrow. No, I'm glad that you've been able to get out and start learning about the station. Have you been treated fine? No one's been causing any trouble for you. I can only do so much from down here, but if it's an issue, I can make some calls. I've been alright. The crew tends to keep their distance, and I haven't been harassed or anything like that. That's good. I was worried that something like that may happen. Karen can be quick to judge at times. And what happened to Star and Sam? Yeah, Milo is such a cutie. Karen can be quick to judge at times. But if you're alright, then there's no need to worry. I'm sure your guardians can take care of you well enough. They've been great, yeah. I've even had a chance to meet some of their coworkers. It's, been interesting. They're more like humans than I'm sure either of us would like to acknowledge. Ha! It seems we may be. For better or for worse, I've yet to fully decide. And your new position. Has that been suiting you well? It keeps my mind off things. It's better than sitting around all day, at least. Yes, well, I trust you'll make the best of it. There's only so much you can do out on your own. For now. Of course. Well, I'm glad to hear that things have been alright since last we met. Oh, I've been meaning to ask, though. Were you alright that day? You seemed a bit, well, quieter than usual. What do you mean? I don't mean to be rude, Tucker. It's just, you seemed a bit less grounded than our previous meetings. And I'm gonna pin that. Give me a minute. Pin. Alright. Manually unpinned or end of stream. There we go. There you go, you're pinned. Yippee! I turned to check on you at one point, and you were staring at the floor with such a blank expression. I was thinking of stopping the meeting, but you seemed to snap out of it. I'm sure it's mostly a stress response, but have you noticed anything similar? I'm sure we could get Dr. Senna to look into it for you. Amongst the other things you should check on. Thinking back on that day, nothing concrete crosses my mind. I mean, I was totally freaking out that morning, but by the time I got into her office, I was mostly okay. I can't say I do. Maybe I just forgot. You forgot? Well, it's something to keep an eye on. Nothing good can come from that. Oh, speaking of forgetting, I was meaning to ask again, did you remember why you came down here this morning? It was quite the shock finding you how I did. Look at me, talking about forgetting things and only bringing this up now. Yeah. No, I was... Pale eyes cut through my consciousness as I reached for where the thoughts should be. I was... There's nothing to be gleaned here. Forget while it still lets you. I forgot. His expression is slow to change. Confusion blooms into sudden and abject horror in the span of a wing beat, only barely subsiding as he ekes out his words. You forgot? Tucker, are you sure you're alright? Can you tell me where you are? I'm in your office, on the ioria 2. Okay, and can you tell me what you were doing this morning before we met? There was something there. Tangible moments of fear and pain. I remember those. They're ingrained in my flesh. Sordid and malignant trophies of a battle I lost. Pieces of it come back to me as I find more and more clues to grasp onto. A bruised arm, a cut leg, a broken tooth. Tear visibly recoils as I pull it out of my pocket. I stare at the bloody stump and it comes back to me. I thought I saw something. You saw something? Okay. Gore warning. Ah! You saw something? What was it? A lure, a ghost, a mascot? Perhaps that didn't translate well. Could you say that one more time? It was a mascot. I know it was. Why is it so hard for me to remember? I grasp the sides of my head as a slight headache begins to come on. When did I start raising my voice? Yeah, we're gonna leave off here tonight. I am tired. Hopefully we will be back on Streamlabs tomorrow. Also, the streams will now be done on the Mac. Anyways. Yeah, I got it. I know my rules. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.